Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up when they gon' rise in the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement. And if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
I have a question for you. If you woke up this Friday morning and you looked in your bank account and there was $10,080 magically there, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But the only stipulation is you have to spend it all in 1 week and it'll be gone. And then the following week, you'll get another $10,080 deposited, and so on and so on. You can spend it however you want. Or if you don't spend it, it disappears. We just spend every cent every week, or would you allow it to be wasted and taken away from you? Well, guys, this Friday, you're going to wake up and there's going to be 10,080 minutes that God has given you for the next week. And you can spend them however you want, or you can simply waste them. Guys, I highly suggest that you spend every minute of next week doing amazing things, and don't allow 1 minute to be squandered, because you never know when God won't deposit another 10,080 minutes in your life, guys. Go out and live a great life.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
YouTube and Twitter. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. Lots of stuff to break down. I quite don't understand what's going on in Maine. Okay, let's be honest. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. I have read every single thing imaginable. I pulled background checks. I followed everything. I've looked up people's social medias. I've just went through this whole entire case, and there is just more confusion when I ended all my research than when I began. Explain that to me. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty channel. We are running this morning. Sorry, I'm just adjusting some things. We are running this morning on Twitter as well as YouTube. We usually do the language of letting go. I'm planning on doing another live later today. We'll address the language of letting go at that time. But right now, I see and heard even last night that this active shooting was going on. I believe JS for Justice was running the up-to-date information. I kind of went in there for a little bit just to get a idea of what was going on. And then, of course, this morning I wake up very early as normal and start looking into this. And I was expected that this guy would have been arrested by now. I mean, they knew fairly quickly who he was. I don't know how. Law enforcement's amazing like that. They identified him fairly quickly. So we're going to be listening to the press conference. We're going to break down the timeline of events. That's really all we know. I don't know why he did this. I have a funny feeling it's a financial, like he's just financially strapped. There's some things that are leading me to believe that there is some issues financially with him that I'm seeing and looking into. I don't know if that was a triggering effect for why he chose to do this or not. I have no earthly idea. Another thing that is an issue is the fact, not just that he's caught or why. I'm uncertain because he's 40-something years old. And when I look into his past, his background, you know, who he is and stuff like that, a Jana car comes up. And here's another issue that I have is I can't figure out if Jana is his wife or his mother. That is absolutely correct. I did say that. I cannot determine whether it's his wife or his mother because she's 60 years old. So, you know, she could have had kids young. So I'm very, very confused. It's hard to make heads or tails. Law enforcement's already pulled their social media. Their social media has been sanitized. And trying to find information right now in this situation is next to impossible. I have no earthly idea where his connections are. I have no earthly idea where he could possibly be fleeing to. Law enforcement has his vehicle. Does he have another vehicle? How is he on the run with this massive manhunt? And him, usually these types of things are, handled and resolved, within a matter of a few hours. I mean, we typically don't have a situation where we go from an active shooter scenario over to now we're on a manhunt. Typically, they find the person that they're looking for. I mean, it's not like this person went to only one location. There are several locations that this man has been at, and I just don't understand how he could have breached the perimeter. If he breached the perimeter, are we dealing with another like Danilo Cavalcanti where he's hiding in plain sight? Again, lots of unanswered questions, a lot of uneasiness right now. I just want to give a big shout out before we get into this case to all law enforcement, all first responders, all frontline personnel, all people behind the scenes helping those frontline personnel stay safe and healthy. We hope and pray that there is no further loss of life at the hands of this Robert Card. There is, there are some things. I don't see a whole lot of crime. It's mostly traffic citations. He does have a healthy amount of traffic citations, but nothing very alarming. Nothing that's screaming red flags or something that could perceive to be screaming red flags. If you guys have not gone out and thumbed up this segment, please consider doing so. I'm going to go ahead and get right on into this segment. We have a lot to unearth. We have a lot to read and a lot to uncover, and we're just going to go through it together. We're just going to do it, just article by article and have conversations about it, because I don't know any other way of explaining this. I have no idea where this man is heading. Law enforcement, on all intents and purposes, aren't giving the public a whole lot of information that's going to help resolve this issue or put an end to this issue. We've got communities literally with orders to shelter in place right now in Maine. We're talking about Maine. I mean, there is, of course, everywhere, and you guys know the drumbeat here. I say no matter where I go, I will always be in business, because every city, county, state has crime. So it's not like Maine doesn't have its fair share of crime. It does. But typically you don't see a whole lot of this type of crime in Maine. It's a very cold, more desolate area. Properties are really affordable there because it's very cold. And I've been there personally, and I can tell you, I love the view. I love going out and having seafood right there on the water. It's beautiful. It's amazing. But it's cold. It's cold all the time, so it's, a lot of people say, I don't know, but I've always had fun in Maine. I've always enjoyed my time there. Beautiful. Good morning, TY, the real me too, Patches, Michelle, Teresa, Cranky Pants, Chicky, it's nice to see you. Lulu's Nana, hello, Michelle. I am having some lag. Good morning, Sonia. I am having some lag this morning. I don't know if it was really noticeable in the intro coming in, but everything was just taking forever to trigger, and I don't know why. So I have a funny feeling even though I got great internet right now, it just bear with me, because it does appear like I'm having some lagging issues. I don't know. Everything looks like it's working behind, but I can tell you when I deal with this every single day. I can tell when I'm having issues, and it seems like I'm having issues. Good morning, sweetie pie. It's nice to see you. Wandering Orphan. Good morning, love bug. I hope you're doing well this morning. Who else do we have in the house? Curvaceous. Good morning. It's nice to see you, Jamie. It's nice to have you here as well. Isabella, good morning. I love awesome channel thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and we've got more. See, like right now, that took forever just to pop up after I clicked it. We've got some drawings in for the raffle or the contest, and we'll get to that later. We're not going to deal with that right now. I'm just going to see if there's any major stuff. I know I have a border to New Hampshire shut down. They are checking cars. So here we go. We're starting to get some information from the people in our chat. So it looks like they're checking cars, shelter in place in Lewiston. I'm worried he's going north for the woods or empty cabin. This is nuts, guys. Yes, I agree with that. And those are the types of things that I'm looking for, because people that could be in this community, that could be out there, you may know some spots. If you know some spots or you see some activity that's not normal there or not customary there, don't approach or check it out. Just call law enforcement. That's what they're there for. You've got a madman with guns on the loose in Maine, and there's no telling where he's at this moment. So we don't want to be approaching anybody. Like, guys, if you're in Maine, if you're in bordering states of Maine, and you see a wildebeest out there, don't approach, okay? Just don't approach anybody. I don't care if it's a freaking kid. If you're in Maine, don't approach anybody. Just don't. Just don't. Good morning, ex-sellers. Nice to see you. Gun laws need a change in the U.S. We have no problems like here in Australia. Yeah, but the problem is our country's different. You know, our country's different, and we have a constitution here, and that constitution is supreme over all of us. That is the rules of law enforcement. That's the rules of the people. And, you know, here in America, we have the right to bear arms. There's reasons for that. Because of our history and us having to break away from Britain, we had to learn to defend ourselves. We never wanted a government to come and control us again. So we do have reasons for having that. And it's a lot of wartime reasons why we have the rights to bear arms here in the United States of America. But it's something that we can't strip our people, because we don't know what's going to happen in another 100 years. Are we going to have an invasion? Do those people that need to have those firearms need to be well equipped for that? I mean, these are things that we have to take into consideration. I'm all about, you know, proper legislation, as long as it's not encroaching on our rights, you know, and everything has, like, even the First Amendment, you know, it's not, you don't have carte blanche. Like, it's illegal to run into a movie theater and scream bomb or fire. So there's limitations on our rights, responsible limitations. And a lot of these things that we're hearing, I don't know. I really think that this whole COVID stuff did a lot more than we know. I think psychologically, it did a lot more damage than many of us even consider or realize. Just because we're not dealing with it doesn't mean it didn't exacerbate somebody else's problem. I don't know where all this has come from, where people feel when they don't get their way, the first thing they do is want to go take out innocent people. They're not the ones that caused your strife in your life. That was caused by either yourself or someone else, but it's not people that didn't know you. I can promise you that. So this is something that is being born within a culture. And I really, truly believe it's the fact that people are online entirely too much. People are playing video games entirely too much. They're indoctrinating themselves. They're brainwashing themselves. And people that don't understand that, or, you know, just don't realize what they're doing, it can have devastating effects to their brain. You got to understand, our brains are like sponges. It does absorb information. It can absorb really good information, or it can absorb really bad information. But it's a sponge, and it takes that stuff and it processes it for each and every one of us a little differently. It's, you know, most of us, you know, because of the way we were taught, because of some of the experiences we have, things are a little different for each and every one of us. But I don't understand this where, and Sweetie Pie, I get it. You know, I've talked to people over in Australia. I was on a couple panels a year or so ago. I actually had a lot of people, you know, through the Gabby Petito and stuff like that from Australia that watched me. I almost had as many there was one time I had almost as many Australian subscribers and viewers as I did USA subscribers and viewers. But again, I don't understand it, but that's just my thoughts going into it. Let's just get into the information and let's just see what we can do. I don't know if we can do anything to help, guys. I think literally the only thing that we can do is caution everybody not to approach this man if they see him, and get as much information out there to you guys as possible. And really, that's it. I wish I would know if anybody knows of a content creator that's in Maine. Please reach out to me and let me know who they are, or throw them in the chat so my mods can let me know who they are. I would like to, call whatever content creator we're out there and just, make sure that they're okay. And, see if they have any information or if they would like to come up here and talk about what they're experiencing. And that goes for even our audience members. Like Jamie, if you're in that area, I'm interested in learning about what's going on in the area and what the community is like. I have to think that the morale in the community is probably a little frightened and a little scared at this moment. Hey, my pal Sal, it's nice to see you, love bug. Hope everything's good. Can you recap what happened? Yeah, let me go ahead and start with. I've already got the timeline pulled up, but let me go ahead and start with the most recent press conference. I think that will be beneficial first. We'll do that, and then we'll move into the timeline if that's okay. So I'm 40 minutes north of the area. Okay, well, if you're here, I'm going to go through this, and then we'll go through the timeline. And if you're here and you want to come up, you can call in or come up on panel and maybe just talk to us about what you know, the dynamic of the community, how people are feeling. I'm not really wanting to. I mean, if you have information about the shooter, that's great. But I'm really wanting to see, and does the community need anything? Is there anything that we can do for that community? Can we be sending, sending some water, supplies, anything? We need to be looking at that. We got first responders out there trying to protect the people of that community, and anything that we can as a channel that supports these efforts, if we can do anything to help, we're going to definitely do it. All right. So without further ado, let's just get on to the press conference, and then we'll have a little chit chat, and then we'll move into the timeline. And don't mind me, it's just, I've got a lot of lag. Just give it a second. There we go.
Thank you for joining us here this evening. My name is Mike Sauschuck. I'm the Commissioner for the Department of Public Safety here in Maine. We truly do appreciate your patience and your partnership as we work with all of our partners across the law enforcement spectrum at all levels, local, state, county, and federal, to address and investigate these violent crimes that occurred in the city of Lewiston this evening. As you know, this is an experienced group. We won't have a lot of Q&A here this evening. This still is very fresh. It's new. It's new for all of us. And our focus is on the investigation and getting this right the first time. And we're doing that with our partners. And we do appreciate you putting out information from time to time. Moving forward, we would appreciate it if you got that information from us so that we knew that it was accurate. And that is incredibly important for all of us from an investigative standpoint and from a public safety standpoint, that we have a unified front with this information as we release it. The delay in coming here with you now is simply because we want to confirm information from our end. We want to make sure the information we're giving you and the information that goes out to the general public is accurate. So we do have some information here that
the issue is, and I'm sure law enforcement is very familiar with, the reason why we don't really get a whole lot of information from law enforcement is because they don't give us a lot of information, right? So we're left to our own devices to, hunt and find out information for ourselves through different channels, like, persons like Jamie here, just finding out some information from other people. So I understand it, but we're going to definitely keep to the facts of the case, and we're going to definitely bring in other aspects of it too. But at the end of the day, I get what law enforcement is saying. We want accurate information about this. We don't want, conspiracy theories just roaming about. So we're going to keep it as factual as possible, but we're going to be opinionated.
That we will release. It is here on the podium. And this is a general caution to the public that approximately 6:56 this evening, a couple of shooting incidents occurred here with multiple casualties in the city of Lewiston. And police are currently searching for a Robert R. Card, 4/4 of 1983 of Bowdoin. Card is considered armed and dangerous. He is a person of interest, however, and that's what we'll label him at moving forward until that changes. If people see him, they should not approach Card or make contact with him in any way. The shelter-in-place order that currently stands in Lewiston remains.
Thank you, Sonia.
A vehicle, which was a vehicle of interest in this incident, was located in Lisbon, and we are now also asking residents in Lisbon to shelter in place. So please share that information with communities as well. If anybody sees Mr. Card or has any additional information reference to these two shootings in the city of Lewiston, please contact 911. If they see anything suspicious, please feel free to call their local authorities. We have literally hundreds of police officers working around the state of Maine to investigate this case, to locate Mr. Card, who again is a person of interest and a person of interest only. And we'll continue to gather information so that we can bring the suspect to justice and ultimately seek prosecution down.
So my question is there like, we're going to approach this as, we're going to approach this as, him just being a person of interest right now. Well, here's the issue. We're talking about a massive manhunt right now. I have to think that they've got him on more. This is the kind of stuff that, it's word salad. It's word salad. We're dealing with a mass shooter. I commend and appreciate all the efforts law enforcement is doing, but, we need more information. You've got 20-something people dead. The body count is growing, and you're not there. He's just not providing enough of good information. This is what we're doing. If you see him, just do, how where do you think he's going? Maybe he'll get into it. We'll keep watching. Where do you think he's going? Does he have any cash on him? Does he have a second car? These are things that I think the public needs to know, because that's letting us know whether he's, moving about just in Maine, or if he's going to be moving about in the United States of America. Like, law enforcement, I know you guys watch these channels. We've got to have more information. We're here to help, but we got to have more information. Let's see if they provide it. I don't think they do.
Down the road. This release also includes a photo, which I believe I have seen from various sources. I would also let you know that we have created a reunification location, and that would be at the Auburn Middle School.
Thank you, Jason.
So in the neighboring community of Auburn at 38 Falcon Drive. Again, that's the Auburn Middle School. And when I say reunification center or location, what that means is that if somebody has a question or they have a concern, they can't find a loved one, they believe that a friend or a family member may be involved in what occurred here tonight in Lewiston, that they could respond to that location. We will have some of our behavioral health liaisons, counselors on site, and we'll also be providing information as it becomes available to us. As you can imagine, and as you know, there are multiple scenes in the city to include multiple hospitals, multiple follow-ups, a lot of witnesses we're speaking with, and a lot of leads. The general public has been very cooperative and very forthcoming with information. So I would expect if we have additional information, we'll be happy to come back and share it with you. I know that from the city of Lewiston,
we're hearing from Jason that they will be having a press conference today at 10:30. I'm hopeful that we get a little more details if he still is on the run. We don't know what's going on in this man's life. And obviously, many of these people, there's a few things that are going on that I foresee. When you have an active shooter type of scenario, in my opinion, it's based on a couple things. They want to go out in a blaze of glory. That appears to be always the primary motivation from these disgruntled people that want to assault innocent people. And it seems to me that they want to go out in this blaze of glory. They want to be noted or go in history. And even for us, even me, I almost don't want to cover this case. Like, for me, these cases, and it's hard because I know you guys are like me. We want to get as much information out there to make sure people are safe. But by me putting this man's name and face on a freaking thumbnail, it's causing and helping create the problem in which I'm trying to stop. There is the double-edged sword of this stuff, where we need to get this information out there to people. But by us giving this information out there to people, we're almost polarizing this monster that's injuring innocent people. And there's no excuse for it. And it's hard because I don't want to be running this case. I can honestly tell you that. This is one that I almost I don't want to run it. I don't want to run it because I feel like I'm feeding into the problem I'm trying to stop. Explain that. Try to make that make sense. You know? But that's what I've understood about these type of people, their mentality. This guy had a restraining order from an ex-wife. I couldn't find the restraining order. I couldn't find anything in their, oops, let me put that back up. Sorry. I got some lag going on, PJ. I couldn't find the restraint, but you know, Maine's a little different. See, I'm so accustomed to Florida law where we have access, like we are a transparent state. At least we want to have the appearance. I won't say we are. We're not perfect at it. Okay. I'm not going to put the state on a pedestal because I'm really disgruntled with my own state at times. Right. But for the most part, we've worked really hard. The citizens have worked really hard to make sure that our government is transparent to us, and not just transparent to us, but puts the crap online that we can access it without having to jump through hoops and over all these things to acquire. Now my stuff is starting to, the internet's starting to flutter a little bit. So I apologize about that. But all these other states need to get on board with that. And if you live in those states, for example, Maine, right? I'm having a hard time being able to acquire court records, public court records in 2023 online. I'm having to email the court to ask them for documents. That is absolutely unnecessary in today's society. And not only that, it's charging you, the taxpayer, money for that gatekeeper of public records that should not be gatekept or gatekept, right? That's public records. That is our property, the public's property. It's not the gatekeeper's property. By law, we're entitled to it, and it should be all online. Even our county commissions and stuff, all of our agendas, all of our minutes, those are all online. There's no, you don't have to fill out requests for our documents, our financial paperwork for our school board and our county, all accessible, Our court records, our public records, all accessible online. So I can't find that, PJ, unfortunately, about this restraining order. Usually I can locate court documents, but I'm having a hard time finding anything. They won't even let me see the citations. I can only see that there are citations, but I can't even open them up. I know they're traffic infractions, but I can't even see what type of traffic infractions they are. So if anybody knows a way around it, let me know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's another site for the court documents that I can't locate. But I will be reaching out to I've already reached out to the police department, and I will be reaching out to the courthouse to see if I can find any additional information, about this or about Robert Card. Either way, let's just get back to this update. But again, I'm just ultra concerned where he's at and where law enforcement is going to be kind of focusing their efforts at this moment. And obviously he's a danger. He's still a danger. He's out there. And I'm hoping that maybe he's unalived. Maybe he did what he did. He didn't go out in the blaze of glory he thought he was going to go out in, and went in a corner, and, maybe they found him. Maybe that's what the 1030, well, I don't know.
Lewiston standpoint, probably going to close City Hall after this briefing and probably move everybody out. But again, we appreciate your partnership and your patience. I would offer to take questions just so you know that I probably won't have answers. And as long as you know that going in, there's no disrespect intended in that. Feel free to ask a couple. And if I think we can get there, then I'm happy to answer those. If not, we do have work to do on behalf of our communities, and that's our primary focus this evening.
There are many specific figures about casualties out there. The Sheriff Sampson told me up as many as 20. I just want to give you the opportunity to set the record straight on that.
Yeah, right now. I do appreciate that. And I know that there's been a lot of numbers out there. This is a very fluid situation. So the last thing I want to come up is give you a number and then 3 hours from now, change that in one direction or another. So I don't have.
Yeah, you're in an active suit.
And when
this is word salad garbage. This is word salad garbage that I don't like. This is the kind of crap I don't like. A man just asked you how many fatalities you had. We don't care if you got to come back and update it 3 hours later. He's asking you how many fatalities are confirmed right here, right now. That's what the question is. That's what we want to know as a public. What is the total? Yes, it is 22 as we know it right now, but we know it's an active scene, and people that were, alive and able to be transported to the hospital. There's no guarantee that they're going to be walking out of that hospital. So we anticipate that number rising. We're not stupid. And this is the kind of word salad. He spent 5 minutes explaining why he couldn't give them a number instead of just spitting out the damn number.
With you, because it's an important piece of healing and it's an important piece of information for all of us to be aware of. But I don't have a firm number on that.
But at least 16, right?
I think I just answered that question to say that I'm not going to give you any specific numbers.
Being an asshole is not going to help your situation.
All evening, and I don't think that that's helpful because it doesn't help.
I understand his point.
It certainly doesn't help the community.
Seriously, he knows the number. This is the kind of crap that irritates the public. He spends 5 minutes explaining why he can't answer a question. If you don't know the number, just say, hey, look, I've been looking at every single aspect of this case. The number of fatalities at this moment is not the number one priority for me. It's getting this animal off the street so that number doesn't come up. That would have been a more appropriate, political response than, I think I just answered that. Yeah, come on, dude. Like, people are scared in your community, and starting to get that's not going to do anything but infuriate people. So just FYI. I'm not beating him up. I'm just saying, I'm just making an observation. I'm sure there'll be 15 videos about my observation.
Said this and they said that. So if you want accurate information, I'm prepared to give that to you when I have it. I don't have that right now.
Does the suspect have any known criminal history, law enforcement? Is he someone who's been on the radar of state police or local police, to your knowledge?
Well, Mr. Card, who we're speaking about right now, is a person of interest and a person of interest only, right? I'm not listing him as a suspect at this point, and we're not prepared to go into his background or anything else that we may be aware of. One more question?
You're looking for one shooter, correct?
We're looking for this person of interest right now, and that's what we'll label and list and speak about at this particular moment. When we have additional information, I'm happy to share that. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, thank you for your time. And I know Assistant City Manager O'Malley will make arrangements.
Well, this is my hope for the 1030. My hope for the 1030 is that this gentleman here is a little more prepared to answer questions. He tones it down and gets a little more bedside manner. Nice guy. He seems nice. So I'm not, but just kind of a couple things that really rubbed me the wrong way in his presentation and his explanation. And it's related to the people that may have lost their life. The bottom line is you've got an active shooter in your community. People are scared. I can't imagine if we were all in this situation, how many of us personally would not be scared. Your community is terrified. And many people in your community probably know somebody that lost their life because, let's face it, I just did some research on this, and it looks like, I'll tell you the exact number. Give me just a second. Lewiston, where is it? Lewiston has I want to say 36,000 people. I don't know where my stuff is for that, but I did some research and I wanted to know about Lewiston. And Lewiston in Maine is part of Androscoggin County, if I'm saying that right. And the population of that entire county is only 100,000, about 111,000 people. And their community is fairly small. I'd have to think that Lewiston is probably maybe houses maybe 36,000 of those people. It is a larger a community of Maine, but it's not really that big. And I have to think that somebody in that community with these several locations, that it's impacted many people in that small community. And somebody probably knows at least one victim of this rampage, or somebody that does. That's how small this community is. And, you look at it, it's not like 5,000. I mean, that's really, really small, but this is 36,000 residents. Think about it. My county here in Manatee County, I think has close to 200,000 people just in our county. And Bradenton's a big part of that, a big bulk of that. So we have a large community here. I can tell you that our city limits house more than 36,000 people. And there was one time when everybody knew everybody. When I was a kid, I think our population here was maybe 60 or 70,000. And I can't remember, there was a store that my mother went to that she didn't know somebody and wasn't sitting there yapping her jaw for an hour with her friend, right? That was the place where we didn't have technology like we have today. If you wanted not to be bored, the only thing you could do is go shopping, right? So all the housewives were always shopping, with their kids. And they would always sit there in the middle of the aisle and just yap. It was so boring as a kid, right? But I really do hope that this, I'm assuming he's a police chief or he's somebody he's a decision maker. I didn't catch his name when they started this whole thing, but I have to say that he's going to have to get a little bit bedside manner, and he's going to have to answer questions and being snarky with your community when they are so fearful. I don't know if that's the best move to be making politically. I personally, he seems like a really nice guy, but there was just a couple of statements that he made that really just rubbed me the wrong way. And I thought it was totally inappropriate. Here's the timeline I wanted to go over. Somebody, who was it? Was it my pal Sal? You wanted to get an idea of a little more about what the timeline was. Let me put this up on here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Give me a second. I'm dealing with lag. So I've already pushed the button. I'm just waiting for it to pop up. If it's going to pop up. Oh, Lord. Come on. Come on, computer. Let's go. It's bad. My lag today is like really, really bad. Come on. There you go. Now it's moving. Now it's moving. Let me see if I can get this up. So what we know so far, so you guys can be in the know with me. There we go. So an intensive manhunt is underway in Maine after 2 mass shootings that left at least 16 people dead. We know that count has risen since this article has been released, but they've confirmed at least 16. And a dozen injured in Wednesday nights. And of all days, Wednesday nights, it's an odd day. Wednesday night, according to law enforcement sources. So here's what they know so far. What happened? There were 2 active shooting incidents in the city of Lewiston at Sparetime Recreation, a bowling alley on Malison Way. And I can't pronounce this last one, but it's Schemengees. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. Schemengees Bar and Grill Restaurant on Lincoln Street, according to Lewiston Police. State officials say the shooting began around 6:56 p.m. Eastern Time. Eyewitness described seeing people running away from the bowling alley. Lewiston is 36 miles north of Portland and is the state's 2nd largest city. Local counselor who spoke to CNN said the death toll could be as high as 22. The person of interest. So Lewiston Police has identified Robert Card. We already know that. Photo of purchase of person of interest. We've already got that out. We've already got the police car. And then where is the timeline? Here's the timeline. So as you can see, a lot of people are out there just trying to find answers. This looks like a waiting period, trying to find out whether they're the reunification center right there. There's families waiting to find out if their loved ones are alive. That's just, I can't even imagine. So 2 mass shootings in Lewiston. Here is the timeline. So my pal Sal, you wanted to know the timeline. Here it is. It's coming up now. So around 7 p.m., the shootings are reported in Lewiston with multiple casualties, according to Maine's Department of Public Safety Commissioner Mike Sauschuck. 8 p.m., the Androscoggin County Sheriff's Office releases photo of the armed suspect and says it's investigating 2 active shooting incidents. The agency encounters all businesses to lock down or close while the investigation is underway. At approximately 8:09 p.m., Maine State Police said there's an active shooter in Lewiston and tells people to stay inside with their doors locked. Law enforcement is currently investigating at multiple locations, the agency added. At 8:26, the neighboring city of Auburn urges all residents to shelter in place. At 8:53, Lewiston police identified the shooting locations as Schemengees and Sparetime Recreation, a restaurant and bowling alley. 9:17 p.m., Lewiston police released the image of the white vehicle, asking the members of the public to contact them if they see it. We do know that they now have that in their possession. 10:52, police on social media named Robert Carr as a person of interest in the shootings and released his photo. At around 11:30, Maine Department of Public Safety Commissioner Mike Sauschuck says the vehicle of interest was found in Lisbon, 8 miles from Lewiston, but the person of interest remains at large. 11:34, Lisbon officials say the town's office will be closed Thursdays and tells all the people to shelter in place. And then, of course, we're here this morning, and there's not a whole lot of new information that has come out about this case since this update. We know that Lewiston is locked down. We know that there's other communities in and around Lewiston that are now locked down. Could this guy already be in a home? Could he already have somebody, hostage? These are real concerns law enforcement have today as they're approaching this case. I hope and pray again that we do find answers. I don't know, it's almost like, remember that one Las Vegas shooting where it was a really wealthy man? Remember that? And he just had a truckload, a treasure trove of arsenal that he brought into, was it the Mirage or something like that? It was a I can't even remember who. It was a concert. It was a country music concert. I can't even remember who was out there. Was it Jason Aldean or something like that? I can't remember. It was a concert. It was a country concert. And this guy just busted out the window in this huge hotel and started shooting down at the crowd, including, that country star. The Mandela Bay Hotel. Thank you, Miko. Yes. Yep. That was it. And it was a country. Thank you. Yep. And we never understood, like, that guy had money. He had so much. It was Jason Aldean. Yep. That was it. And, we never understood, like, out of all of the research and the whole case being closed and resolved and everything like that, they never told us, and I don't think we ever found out the motive for that one. I never remember hearing. I remember it was almost just as confusing as this, where there was all this chaos going on and nobody really knew why. And then when you looked into this, it seemed like the guy was happy. He had a family. Remember, it was just odd. Nobody could understand what made him just snap. And I feel like this is kind of similar. I don't know what made this man snap, but I can tell you it really feels financially motivated. Not like he was going to gain something by doing this. What I'm trying to say is it seems like his personal lifestyle was falling apart. It seems like he was having potentially. Now, I haven't confirmed this. There's no way for me to corroborate it at this moment. It's just stuff that I found researching. And it appears as recently as, give me just a second. Let me pull this up. Okay, Robert Card. Okay, I got that. Where was that? Was that in finances? I think that was in finances. Yes, it is. So, I mean, just as recently as July 2023, he's filing with his Secretary of State in Maine. And the collateral, it's like unknown equipment, and it looks like it's being secured by Vermeer Credit Corporation, and it's to Robert Russell Card. Robert Russell Card. And the house he lives in with Jana Card, but she's so significantly older than him. It makes me wonder, is that his mother or his wife? Because she's literally 20 years older than him. He's 40 years old and she's 60 years old. But I can't find the court records or the public records to see any kind of marriage certificates to make heads or tails. So I still have a lot of work that needs to be done on this particular matter because it's so unclear. Is his mom? Okay, thank you. So that makes sense. So now we're starting to see this kind of even formulate a little bit more about his personality. That's the information I was needing, because if he's living with his mom at 40 years old, this man has some serious financial problems. And that kind of bodes right into what I was uncovering and looking at. Now, again, that's if Jana is his mother, and it sounds like somebody has confirmed that it is his mother. So that really bodes in with this whole financial down spiraling he's been going through. I think he just gave up. That seems to be what I'm seeing on my end as potentially possible, allegedly potential for motivation as to why he's doing this. It's kind of like the family annihilator type of mentality, right? When we deal with family annihilators, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with people that have put on this facade. Oh my God, I just read that there was children. It was a child. Yes. No, though, Jamie. Yes. That's what was so alarming to me is, yes, we learned that there are children, from my understanding, among the unalive. That's why it's making me so frustrated. That's why I'm a little, and again, like I said, with the gentleman that was giving us the press conference, I like him. I thought he was genuine. He was very low key, somebody I like. It was just a couple things that he said that really rubbed me the wrong way, because in light of the gravity of the situation, people are scared. They want to know what's going on, and telling them that we have an investigation. Nobody gives a damn about your investigation when there's a lunatic that's gunning down kids and families. I'm sorry. I'm all for keeping things under wrap and making sure that you have integrity with your investigation and all this other stuff. But when you have an active shooter on the loose and anybody's a target, yeah, I'm sorry. This whole we can't give you this information. That's falling on deaf ears, buddy. I'm sorry. That's falling on deaf ears. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Like when you have an active police, don't ever lose that from your vocabulary when you have an active shooter situation. There's ways to dance around it, right? We know about word salad. There's ways to dance around that than saying that statement. There's for example, if they ask a question that goes to the direct in the heart of their investigation, there's a way to explain it. Like, for example, say they found a gun. Okay. They don't want to release the type of gun because only the killer would know what type of gun this is. So they're going to tell you that they found the gun. So somebody's going to say, well, what type of gun was it and what caliber was it, right? So instead of law enforcement saying, well, due to the integrity of the investigation, I can't answer that question, how a person would probably approach that question with an answer would be to say, well, at this moment, I'm not sure if the make and caliber of the gun is really important at this juncture. But what I can tell you is, you see how much different that is. You're not telling your community that they don't matter, that the investigation trumps them. And that's what I hear when they have an active shooter situation and law enforcement is telling you they cannot provide you information because of the investigation. Listen, I'm a normal Joe over here. I could care less about your damn investigation. Now, once you get the guy off the street, have at it. You don't want to tell us nothing? Fine. I'm good. You don't want to tell us anything? I'm good. But while that animal is running this street, you don't get to say that anymore. When you can't keep him corralled and he's killed 22 people, you lost your right to tell us that you have an investigation. We want to know what's going on in that community, and we want it stopped. Now, once you get the animal off the streets and you've confirmed he's dead or he's arrested, you shut down. Shut down all you want. Don't tell me a peep anymore. I may complain about it, but I'll understand. That's just how I am. That's just how I believe. And so it's really kind of falling on deaf ears. I don't like this. You know, in Danilo Cavalcanti, what I loved about that is we knew what was going on. They had a lunatic on the loose, and we knew every single turn where that man was and where the public needed to stay away from or focus their eyeballs on. That's what we got from Danilo Cavalcanti's search. He didn't kill 22 people, folks. He just got convicted of killing his girlfriend, one person. He wasn't out there hunting people down and executing them. This guy is. This guy that's on the streets right now is. And so there's got to be a change in how law enforcement is presenting this case to the public. I hope that they get a little bit more bedside manner. Oh, that's right, Jamie. I wanted to bring you up here. Jamie, how do you want to come up? Would you like to come up on phone or would you like to come up on panel? I'm going to leave that up to you. I don't care which one you choose to do. But I just wanted to get an idea of what's going on out there. If people don't know, Jamie's just a few, 30-something miles, 40 miles away from the location that's happening. This is affecting a lot of people in that area, even many miles away. It's affecting them. So we've got a gentleman that obviously has had a spiraling effect. Typically, we can see the spiraling effect before the, I can probably call, okay, let me get the phones up. Give me just a second. Yeah, let me get the phones up and then. All right, Jamie, get a piece of paper out because I'll just tell you the number instead of posting it here. So it's a 724. Well, I'll just post it. I've got it already on a tab, so it makes it easy. Guys, do not call this number. Allow Jamie to call in, please, if you would be so kind. There you go, Jamie. If you want to call in, the phones are open. And oops, don't call in yet. Hold on, to take you off the screen. Watch, it's going to be lag and it's not going to come off the screen. She's going to call in right when. There we go. Yay. I have such lag on this computer today. I don't know why. It's driving me nuts. So give, oh, hey, Turkey Man. Nice to see you, love. We need prayers for Maine. Guys, I want to see my whole entire chat with prayer hands. We want prayer hands for the victims, prayer hands for the victim's family, prayer hands for law enforcement, and all other people that are working their darndest right now to get this animal off the streets. We want to tell them thank you. We want them happy. We want them healthy. And hey, Jamie. Hey, Jamie.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, on edge. We
Yeah.
are, like you said, we are like 40 minutes south, or I mean north
Mhm.
of the shooting, but schools are canceled here. Everybody's on edge at the store. They did say, the woman did tell me at the store that she talked to the police officers that came in the morning at 4:30, she said. And they think that he's in Lisbon. That's what they're saying. They think he's in Lisbon. But how true that is, we don't know.
Right.
But that's what they're saying. They think he's in that area. I know they did shut down the border going to New Hampshire. They're doing a roadblock and checking cars, so you can't just go through. But we do have a lot of forest up here. We have a lot of camps. I'm scared he's going to run north for the woods or something and try to find an abandoned cabin or something. I don't know. I'm scared. My daughter's freaking out. She shut all the lights off this morning. She ran and locked all the windows and doors. She was like freaking out.
And how far are you from Lisbon?
It's about 40-45 minutes. Lisbon and Lewiston border each other.
Mm-hmm.
So like Bradenton, Sarasota type thing.
Yeah.
The next town's over. So about 40-45 minutes north of that area.
So what is, and I know that law enforcement is on heightened alert probably throughout the entire state of Maine because of this gentleman. What do you, if he's in Lisbon, what are you hearing on the grounds? Does anybody know whether he has family or friends? Is he connected to this community in any way? Obviously, he's got a long years of connection to Maine through his mom, and this is where he's called home for many years.
Yeah, that's so far. That's what I've heard. I heard he was at. Sorry. I was trying to look up my Facebook, and I think it. I don't know if you heard that or not.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
It's saying on Facebook that he was from the area, that he was ex-military, that last summer he had an episode where he was hearing voices and was hospitalized. He's also a firearms instructor, which for me, I would hope that if he was hearing voices, they would have taken control of his firearms, and that he escaped from a hospital is all that we know right now.
So he was actively
that's all that we're being told.
Okay, so you actually have more information. You just said something that I was not aware of and not what I've read. So he was actually hospitalized due to mental health reasons, and he escaped from the hospital?
I know he was hospitalized last summer or just this past summer, for hearing voices. But as of right now, they're saying he escaped from the hospital right now. So I don't know if he's been in the hospital since the summer or was just put back in the hospital and escaped. But yeah, we're hearing he escaped from a mental hospital.
Oh, wow. And if that's the case, then it makes me almost wonder how he got a hold of firearms, because that would mean he would have had to go home. Interesting. So this is another.
I sent you
Go ahead.
I sent you an update that just came out just a few minutes ago. There was a woman that did a live in Lewiston. She's like right at the scene of one of the shootings.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's on Lisbon or Lincoln Street right now. And she had a little bit of an update, but not much, just that it's a heavy police presence. Schools are shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. She was right in front of the Lewiston or Lisbon High School. That's where she was. But I think that's right by the shootings, because I could see it all taped up. You could see all the caution tape everywhere.
Yeah.
But I did send that to your messenger, and that was just a few minutes ago. And then I can't hit my Facebook because every time I hit it, it goes like.
Oh, I can still hear you. I can still hear you when you're on your Facebook. So, because you went on your Facebook and you thought I didn't hear you before, and I could hear you just fine.
Okay. I was trying to. there was a little girl that is on the Facebook that she got grazed by a bullet. Her father is an ex-police officer, and he got his family into the corner. And this little girl, sorry, my birds are flying around. But her leg got grazed by a bullet, and the poor little girl, she says it's crazy that a man would do this. Like, they put fear into our children. Like, my child is scared right now, and this poor little girl just, you know, is going to be scared for the rest of her life now, probably because of this. You know, like, that's awful. She's just a little girl. And then I just found out, because I didn't know before, that they had a children's, they were doing children's birthdays or children's parties or something at the bowling alley. There was children events going on at the bowling alley where he shot at.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's just crazy.
It is. Then there's a lot. Like, I was, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that I went through TikTok or Twitter, and there's some pretty rotten stuff on here that they've got. I'm going to go through that here in just a second.
Yeah, I'll try to keep sending you stuff that's updated. If anything's local or something that I don't think that you might have or something, I'll try to keep sending it to you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate it.
New.
Well, I'm just praying for everybody in your community, everybody that's in Maine, everybody abroad, everybody that's being affected by the shooter. I just pray for them and just hope that this comes to an end very quickly. I'm hoping that we get good news at the 10:30 press conference.
Yes, I do too. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you for all you do as well.
Yes, thank you as well.
All right, honey. Well, God bless.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too, hon. Bye.
Okay, so we got a little update. Some information I didn't know about. I had no earthly idea. So now this is kind of getting a little bit clearer now. Now that this is why we do what we do. It's to help clear things up. You know, we don't all have all the information, but you know, you get a little bit from here, you get a little bit from here, you get a little bit from here. Now we're able to paint a little bit more of a picture here. He was in 1 or 2 weeks sometime this summer. Okay, I appreciate that. But it's still painting a great picture. Even if he didn't escape from the hospital, it still paints a great picture for us to understand him. Because like I said, I always expect this spiraling effect to happen before it gets to this point. That was the piece that I was missing earlier. So that put that piece in there because, as I was saying, if you go back and rewind, you'll hear me saying that I'm always expecting this spiraling effect for this to happen. That is the spiraling effect that I was looking for right there. So that was the red flag that I would have seen that this guy was going to start making some things happen. We see this, and I always bring this up to you, that even in all the cases that we cover, before it gets to the point of where somebody is murdered, there is a spiraling effect that happens in that person's life that almost, it's one of those things you don't see it as it's happening, but when it's over and it's the hindsight 2020 effect, where you look at it and you say, oh, here's where it happened. I've noticed that for a really long time, the spiraling effect that happens. That was the spiraling effect that I needed, because that explains that something major happened in this man's life. He had a spiraling effect. He had whether it was a psychotic break or something else, but he was introduced into a mental hospital, either hearing voices or for some other mental issues or help that he may have needed mentally. And then even if he was out, if he wasn't, say, continuing with the therapies, continuing with the medication that they put him on, this could have effects. Now, listen to this. This could also have equally negative effects. If he went to that hospital and he was hospitalized, the chances of them putting him on some type of medication are very great. Okay? They're very great. What typically happens when people are put on this, especially if he's hearing voices and they put him on, say, a schizophrenic type of medication, what typically happens is it takes a while for that medication to kind of level out in your system. But what I hear from a lot of schizophrenics on medication is the reason why they stop taking the medication is because it makes them so tired all the time. That is the number one complaint I get from diagnosed schizophrenics on medication, is that the medication makes them ultra tired and they're tired of it. And so they stop taking the medication. Well, here's the issue. And this is not, even if he's not on a schizophrenic medication, he may be on just maybe like a Prozac or Zoloft or something just to help, like a mood stabilizer. If it's something like that, even that can have negative effects if you stop it cold turkey. So if you built up a tolerance for it, say if he was in the mental hospital this weekend, and this is all speculative. I don't want you guys taking this as true. I forget. I need to always caution that, because I don't want people saying the information I'm giving is wrong. This is not wrong information. It's speculative information. Much different. Much different. So speculatively, you know, if he's on some type of, say, a mood stabilizer, anxiety medication or something, and he's stabilized on that, and say he's tired of taking it because it's making him tired, he feels like he's over, that he really doesn't have, a lot of people have this complaint, you know, they believe that they don't really have a mental illness. It was just that a temporary issue, and they just needed to take the medication temporarily, and once they stabilize, they can get off if they really believe that. And so once their life is getting back together, things are doing great, they're like, I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to spend the money. I'm broke. I can't afford this medication. This medication's too expensive, or I just don't want to take it. They stop taking it cold turkey. That's a medication that is predominantly affecting the brain. You can't go cold turkey with that kind of medication. If he stopped taking it, it could have triggered something like this. It's possible. Each person is different. But this is what I talk about when it comes to our brains. You know, what are we doing? What are we introducing it to us? You know, mental illness, I'm sorry, it's theories. Mental illness is theories. There is very little mental illness that can be conclusively, scientifically proven. And that is a true statement. And people can beat me up and say, I don't know what I'm talking about. I damn sure know what I'm talking about when it comes to mental health. And it's theories. They are prescribing you medication based upon theories. I don't like that type of medication. I don't like that type of medicine. It's all theories. And guess what? It depends on your doctor. So you can go, when you're going to a psychologist, you can go to 15 psychologists. And guess what? They'll all come out with, a couple of them may come up with the same diagnoses, right? But you go to several different doctors, you got several different, that to me, say if I go to a doctor with a fever and a cough, guess what? I go to 15 doctors, they're going to tell me I have a cold, right? You have a mental illness and you go to 15 doctors, trust me, you go anywhere from having obsessive compulsive disorder to anxiety, depending on what doctor. Why? Because it's theory. It's a theory-based medicine. And I'm sorry, I'm not willing to swallow medication. I know there's people that need it, and you need to trust your doctor and do what the doctor tells you. I would never, ever, ever deter anybody away from that. But I also want you to be cognizant that it's theory. They are prescribing medication to you based upon theory. It's an educated guess. I give it that. You know, they do study this stuff, and that's how they know that if you're having emotional issues or you're crying a lot or you're depressed, that Zoloft works. Or Prozac works, right? So I mean, it's an educated guess. It's based upon some information. It's based upon data. I'm not disputing that. I'm just disputing that that prescription could be prescribed to a bunch of things, right? From manic depression, bipolar disorder, to anxiety, to obsessive. Nobody has this. Yes, we know that if you take this medication, it'll calm you down and make you not But the diagnosis itself, that's the problem I have. It's all theory. It's all theory. And it's all about the Susie Seal. Yeah. And people don't like hearing that. But when you go there and somebody says that you have anxiety, they can't test you for that. Right? If you go to a doctor and they say you have high blood pressure, right? You can get a test that shows you have high blood pressure. Right? You go to a psychologist, guess what? There's no test for any of their stuff. You have to just trust them that what they're saying is true. That's scary. That's scary medicine for me. And it's medicine that's affecting the one thing that controls your entire body, your brain. So it's just a lot to think about. I just want to, again, this is not to knock anybody with mental health illness. This is not to tell you not to take the prescription that your doctor tells you. I don't want you misunderstanding anything that I'm saying here. I think that if you're under doctor's care and you trust your doctor and your doctor has been working for you, you keep doing what you think is best, because nobody knows your body better than you know your body. And if it's right for you, then it's right. You know better than anyone else. But if you feel that something is wrong, you trust that. That's your body talking to you, and you need to listen. All right, guys. Well, that's it. So we're finding out that the shooter had mental illness, was recently, and see, this is the thing, recently in-house. Okay. This was not somebody that could use outpatient therapy. This was inpatient therapy. That's serious. Because trust me, these hospitals, they have so many people that come in. If they can treat you on an outpatient, in an outpatient way, they will. But he was inpatient. That tells you a lot. That tells you how serious this was. So he was an inpatient. He is living with his mom. I'm seeing a lot of financial issues on the back end. So it is painting a very understanding picture. This is a person that, in all fairness, appears to want to go out in a blaze of glory. His life sucked. He wasn't happy in his life. He was broke. He was living at home with mommy. He has probably no good perspectives for women, because women don't like men that live at home with mommy. And his life seems like it was falling apart, and he just couldn't put it back together. So instead of just, doing like the rest of us do and go into our bed and just cry our eyes out and, pick up the pieces and figure it out, he goes home and decides to take out innocent people. It's disgusting. If you guys are part of that mindset that you feel that if you have a temper tantrum, you can just pick up a gun and take somebody out, you're sick. You need help. This man had an opportunity for help, but something failed. I think if somebody goes into inpatient psychology, if they have to be in-housed, and you guys know me, I am a gun owner. I never know what's going to happen in my future, right? I may wake up tomorrow and have a complete utter nervous breakdown where I have to be hospitalized, right? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in our lives. These are not things that are planned to happen. So, but I do believe this is one thing that I will give our audience, and you guys know how I feel about guns, but there is a middle road here for me. There is a middle road here for me. Mental illness, which a lot of people, now again, this is not related. Mental illness is not a crime. Okay. So I don't think that people with mental illness should never obtain or hold or use a gun. I don't believe in that. I think that's a stigma, and I think that's a poor stigma. If you judge somebody based upon mental illness and say that because they have mental illness, they can't possibly be responsible enough for a gun, I think you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. But I do believe when there are clear indicators, such as this, where this man was hospitalized in the summer, if he has any guns in his possession, custody, or control, I honestly believe that they should temporarily, by court order, be removed from his possession. This is something that I feel is a necessary, because typically, in my experience, people are over whatever's going on in their life, within 6 to 9 months. So you have a loss in life, a loss of life, right? Your child died. You're never going to get over your child, but the insanity portion of it, the brain portion of it, the psychology portion of it, you kind of can handle things 6 to 9 months. Okay. It's not fixing it. It doesn't mean that you're not pain. It just means that you're not so low that you just want to walk off a short pier. You know what I'm saying? And people, things happen in our life where healthy people have those thoughts. It's not unhealthy. You don't need a pill because you had an unhealthy thought. It's normal. It's normal. But many of us go through those, our whole entire life. I mean, I had to rebuild my life from literally nothing. And actually, I was less than nothing, right? Because I had dug myself into such a deep hole. I was beneath nothing, right? And I had to crawl out of that pit and get myself to nothing. And then start building on top of that nothing to build where I am today. It took years. But what was holding me back for me, and again, this is probably different from person to person, but it seems to me in my experience that 6 to 9 months, somebody is stable. Okay. They're usually stable within 6 to 9 months without medication, without psychology, without anything. They had a life, a thing. They were in the pits of hell. They wanted to unalive themselves. They realized how stupid that was. They dusted themselves off. They picked themselves up and move on at 6 to 9 months. Okay. Probably, with a failing of a relationship, probably more on the lines of 2 years. A loss of a loved one, you never quite get over it, but you learn to live with it. So I think they needed temporarily in a situation like this with this guy. I think what could have avoided this situation is the removal of any and all guns that he could have been around if he was hospitalized, at least 6 to 9 months. This is not something that, it shouldn't be our responsibility to house guns, to monitor. I mean, you're talking about liability that law enforcement will have if they misplace a gun. There's a lot of stuff that can go on with it that I can see why our government doesn't want to put this onus on our law enforcement personnel. But something's got to be done. If we have somebody that is hearing voices and having to be an inpatient in a mental hospital and is a gun owner, I think it would be a responsible mechanism to remove those guns from the home, at least for temporarily, never ever permanently. I don't think they should be punished. We're just wanting to make sure that they're on good footing. That they're okay. That they're that this doesn't happen. I know a lot of I'm probably giving a lot of my friends heartburn by saying this, but that's something I could, in all fairness, that's something I could get on board with. Something that just kind of delays, just gives them an opportunity to play the tape through or just have a better day, right? Some of these things are because people had really crappy days. And those crappy days just didn't end. They just kept extending. It just went from one crappy day to another crappy day to another crappy day to another crappy day. And I get it. I get it. Trust me, we've all been there. The difference is between us and them is we don't pick up guns and go kill innocent people. We realize we have problems and we talk to somebody. So if you're suffering from mental illness, if you're suffering from people talking to you, there is nothing to be ashamed of. We do not judge you. I don't think anybody in their right mind, if they do, they're animals and they're assholes. So don't listen to them. They're not even worth your time. If you're suffering from a mental illness, go get help. At least talk to somebody. If you don't even think you have a mental illness, because again, what is a mental illness? It's somebody's theory, right? If you're having something that's really weighing on your chest, I'm not gonna just prescribe stuff to you or diagnose you. I'm not a doctor. All I can say is if you're having problems and things are weighing on you and you're waking up crying or life just doesn't feel good for you anymore, you lose purpose. I mean, trust me, I've been there. Days are hard. I get it. Seek help. At least talk to somebody. Talk to somebody you trust, right? Sometimes maybe just your best friend. Maybe your best friend. You know what I find sometimes? Honestly, it sounds crazy. But sometimes I don't even want people that I know knowing my personal business, right? Knowing the real stuff that's bothering me, right? You don't even want them knowing. Sometimes it's so easy going to somebody you don't know that has no opinion of you, right? That you can just go in there, throw everything on the table, walk out and never have to see them again. Right? That's what a doctor can do for you, right? You have something, you don't want anybody knowing about it, make that appointment. Go vomit it on their couch, right? Get it all, just purge it. Walk out of there and never go back to the doctor again. Go find you another doctor once you're done relieving yourself and go work with them. No judgment. You need to get it off your chest. Find a stranger, right? Let them carry the weight for a while. Dump it on a stranger. Why dump it on a friend or family? Dump it on a stranger. Dump it on a stranger. Cut the cord and let it go. That's what I say. That's what I say. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of the show. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for jibber jabbering with me. I really do pray that 10:30 we do hear something. I honestly don't know if I'll be live for that press conference or not. Just pay attention. If I can be live for the press conference, you'll see the notification. I've been very, very busy behind the scenes doing a bunch of stuff, volunteering. There's been a lot of stuff I've added to my my schedule. So it's going to start taking, I'm still doing the research and stuff like that, but you guys have to understand, I do have a lot of work that I do for the county, a lot of volunteer obligations that I do. And I've got to get back to those, especially now that we're kind of slowing up a little bit. Next year, I anticipate to be on the road a lot more than I am this year. So I'm going to have to figure out how to balance the schedule a little bit. And I haven't figured that out yet. So once I figure out what my schedule will be for 2024, I'll let you guys know. But until then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless. And we're almost there, guys. Tomorrow is Friday. Holy smokes. Another week down the drains, right? I hope we made it the best we could, right? Let's listen to this again.
I have a question for you. If you woke up this Friday morning and you looked in your bank account and there was $10,080 magically there, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But the only stipulation is you have to spend it all in 1 week and it'll be gone. And then the following week, you'll get another $10,080 deposited, and so on and so on. You can spend it however you want. Or if you don't spend it, it disappears. Would you spend every cent every week, or would you allow it to be wasted and taken away from you? Well, guys, this Friday, you're going to wake up and there's going to be 10,080 minutes that God has given you for the next week. And you can spend them however you want, or you can simply waste them. Guys, I highly suggest that you spend every minute of next week doing amazing things, and don't allow 1 minute to be squandered, because you never know when God won't deposit another 10,080 minutes in your life, guys. Go out and live a great life.
That's my message. So go out there, live a great life. Tomorrow morning, we get to do it all over again until this time next week. God bless you. We'll see you then.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.